Uber has turned to the Middle East for its biggest investment ever. The company announcing a $3.5 billion raise from Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. It's part of Uber's most recent funding round and keeps the valuation at $62.5 billion only. That's right, $62.5 billion. Saudi Wealth Fund managing director will also take a seat on the board as part of the deal. Bloomberg News startups reporter Eric Newcomer joins us from the newsroom with more. Eric, this is shocking. Are these guys on like a perma fundraising scheme here? They keep raising money and keep raising money and keep raising money. It's crazy.
It certainly feels like that. Their balance sheet now is $11 billion, $9.5 billion of it in cash. That's cash on hand. So they are flush with money, and all from the private markets. They just, raising from everybody under the sun. They've now raised from Google, TPG, Benchmark, and now, these huge sovereign wealth funds. So everybody you can imagine is invested in Uber, it seems.
There's a million curious aspects to this. One is that the valuation, well, I'm just going to call it obscenely high, that the valuation stays at that level even though it's a subsequent round. How does that work? I mean, whose equity are they selling at that point?
Yeah, my understanding is, they'd filed to raise $2.1 billion, and they extended the round. So they were going to raise 2.1 at 62.5, and then they said, okay, I guess we can get a bunch more money, and they'd keep the same valuation. So I think you're right to pay attention to that. I don't think it's a bad sign, but it certainly shows that they're probably reaching a ceiling when it comes to what people will pay to invest in Uber right now.
Yeah, I would say the $62 billion valuation is not a bad sign for a company that has, we presume, no profits.
Right. Yeah. That is an expensive company. Yeah, expensive valuation for any company, and that certainly not profitable. Trying to be profitable in the United States, but competing aggressively with Lyft. So that situation is.
And the fact that it comes from Saudi Arabia suggests some global ambitions, which we will certainly keep an eye for. Eric Newcomer, thank you very much. It's a huge story, and we're glad to have you on to talk about it.